We've all dealt with this at some point. You have a project in mind, something you genuinely care about, but instead of starting, you start scrolling, you start tweaking your schedule, anything except doing the actual work. You tell yourself, I'll start after this one last thing. But that thing turns into another. And before you know it, the day is gone. You don't have to do a lot of work to make progress. You just have to do that work that actually moves the needle. You don't have to do a lot of work to make progress. You just have to do the work that actually moves the needle. Procrastination doesn't always look like laziness. Sometimes it disguises itself as busyness. Checking YouTube tutorials, checking your schedule, all that stuff that seems productive, but it's just another way of avoiding the real work that actually moves the needle. Deep down, you know that you're avoiding the one thing that actually matters. So why does this happen? Why do we avoid doing the work that actually moves the needle? I'd say it's fear. Why? The fear comes from a place where you might think you're not good enough for the work. You might think people might hate it, or you're not talented enough to actually do it. This fear you feel is normal, and it comes from not knowing what might happen, not having full control over the situation you're in. It's that uncomfortable feeling of not being in control of what might happen, or you don't know what to expect. This fear drives you to the tasks that might feel productive but don't actually do anything. They don't move the needle. It's easier to plan than to execute. It's easier to reschedule than to push through that discomfort. The problem is, procrastination compounds over time. The longer you delay, the heavier the project feels. Before you know it, life happens, and now you really don't have time to work on a project. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you might feel inspired, and other days you feel like doing nothing. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't? Discipline. Discipline is doing what you said you would do even when you don't feel like it. This is a quote from Chris Williamson. That's the shift that needs to happen. Stop waiting for motivation and start relying on discipline. This means committing to the process even when it feels uncomfortable. It means understanding that not every session will be productive, but consistency compounds over time. Progress isn't about making huge leaps. It's about showing up day after day after day, even on days when you don't feel like it. If you can commit to doing the work, even on days that you don't feel like it, you've already won. Not just because of the work itself, but because you're proving to yourself that you can follow through. And that confidence in your own ability to execute, that's unstoppable. Let's talk about a filmmaker. We'll call him Alex. Alex wants to make a movie, a short film. The idea is there, the script is ready, but every time Alex plans to start, something gets in the way. The weather looks bad for the shoot, let's try another day. This actor couldn't show up, so we'll have to reschedule. We don't have the right gear yet for this, so we'll have to reschedule it again. We don't have the right gear for this day, so we'll have to hold it off. At first, these may seem like reasonable concerns, but if you look deeper, you'll realize that they're really not external. They're internal. There will never be a perfect time to start. So instead of waiting for everything to align, Alex just begins. The shoot happens, even with imperfections, and in the process, Alex learns an important lesson. Progress beats perfection every single time. When you stop procrastinating and have a clear vision of your priorities, everything changes. A clearer mind. When you separate real work from distractions, your thoughts become more organized. More productivity in less time. You get more done in a few focused hours rather than a lot of hours scattered throughout the whole day. Better quality rest. When you know you've done fulfilling work, at the end of the day, rest feels fulfilled and more earned. Greater momentum. Progress fuels motivation. The more you do, the more energy and motivation you have to keep going. A stronger sense of control. No more feeling guilty at the end of the day, knowing that you put in the effort where it actually matters. So how do you actually stop procrastinating? You take much smaller steps. Here's what I mean. Identify what actually moves the needle. Write down one thing that if you do today would have the biggest impact on your work in general. Just one. Make procrastination less appealing. If you always reach for your phone when working, put your phone in another room. And if your workspace is distracting, change locations. Your environment is like the most important thing when doing focused work. Commit to just 10 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll just work for 10 minutes today. Most of the time, momentum will carry you beyond that, sometimes way beyond. Set clear work and rest boundaries. Make your work time non-negotiable, but also schedule real rest. Balance is key. Track progress, not perfection. Keep a log of what you've accomplished. Seeing progress reinforces the habit. By doing all of this, you remove all the distraction and you create an environment where action is the default. At the end of the day, procrastination doesn't disappear on its own. You either control it or it controls you. Even when you feel like you don't want to do the thing, actually doing the thing always feels better than regretting not doing the thing. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Take the first step, no matter how small it is. Trust me, the burden will lift once you begin. Let me know how you're dealing with procrastination. And if you need any help, let me know in the comments down below. And if this video helped you in any way, leave a like and subscribe. My name is Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.